Invisible lasers. Sorry. Nope, cannot do it. Ooh, that's helpful. Oh, I want to see about this one. Yeah. They experimented on us. Thank you, Baville. Thank you, Philip DeFranco. I'd like to sub to your channel. Oh god, they're like on me. Softer and warmer on the mouth. Peel this man's mind back. This man. Upa turned out to be a Upa turned out to be a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, like you're a right winger and you have a pass that's kind of scary. We know. Did you? They were. Not very much, but they were. It was known. Over the course of the the autism shines through. Told you. They just liked LSD. They just liked LSD. And they all started doing it. It's good he's telling the kids. The kids don't know. The kids don't know. I knew this when I was like 14 years old. That was 26 years ago. Oh my god. Of course. Fuck yeah. My mouse. Lick my butt and suck on my balls. Yeah, not too good. God damn it, I can't move. Can't move, can't move, can't move. No. What was that? I'm out of fire. Oh, damn it. Oh no. Maybe I better just go buy my own. No. I'll just do the whole bit. It's fine. Actually, shut down. Just shut down. It'll be smoother. Yep. Well, that and, JFK, MLK, John Lennon, maybe Trump. That's the most badass thing I've ever heard. BRB. Office grenade! Oh. Oh. Ugh. They're like, what? Office grenade! There we go. Look, see, frames are actually good here. They're like, I don't know, 50, but they're not. They're definitely not grainy and they're not laggy. And the game looks good. It's got high settings and stuff. Yeah, it looks good to me. It's better graphics. Logging out was good. It got rid of all those fucking zombies that were on me for hours. But still, this is still like Rust is such a cantankerous game client that like I'd rather it be on Nvidia to load all this than for me to load all this. I wish I could get better frames here, but I can't because but it does take the tax off the computer, so I can I can just like it definitely doesn't drain my computer like the other thing does, like Rust normally does. I need to figure out where the recycler is here, but I'm scared because the zombies are constantly here. I see a milk crate. Ooh, laptop and a set. Nice. Laptop and a set is good. I need stone or something. Oh, yep. All right, go home. Okay, what are we gonna do? 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 I don't know. I guess oh, that's the wrong side of the ladder, though, and I'm gonna get a bite. Nope. See, I like NVIDIA GeForce Now for Rust because it doesn't experience frame rate loss. It just experiences frame rate slowdown. It doesn't ever experience frame rate loss, though. And everything's turned up, too. Everything looks good, you know. I think it performs better on OBS. It definitely does. Go, go, go. I couldn't get that tree for whatever reason. I put so many blows into it at 25%. I got so many far past 25%. Fucking stupid. Maybe I can lose them this way. I can climb the pylon, maybe. Need to figure out where the recycler is in there, but I don't know. Nice, that was a bunch of free stuff that was really good. Okay, so... Wow, this pylon lets you jump to that building, I think. Oh, I don't know. I can't do that jump now. But if I find a recycler, it'll be good materials. Oh, maybe... Well, yeah, I can't do this jump. No, I'll have to go down. But I'm on the other side. I'll have a little bit of surcease before they find me again, which is good. If I go in the building, maybe they won't find me again. I'm pretty much full. I need to figure out where the goddamn recycler is. I think there is a recycler here, but I really don't remember. I've been in here, but I don't remember where it is. See, even on GeForce Now, it fucking lags out. Shadows are good. See it? No frame rate loss. See it? There's no frame rate loss. See it? at all. It's just low frames. It's low frames, but there's no it's no frame rate loss. Ugh. Maybe I should lock it at 60. I don't know. No, sometimes the monuments really drain the frames. Need to find the recycler. Yes. Oh, look, somebody left something here. That's even better. Yay. Got metal. It's good. Make a T1. $141 cloth is very good. Five sewing kits is really good. Gonna make a backpack when I get home. Suppressor. I knew it already, but it's good. Wait, that is a milk crate. Nice. Sounds like you've turned your friends and families into serfs. I love Stranger Things. Yeah. Stranger Things was good. A great show. Yeah. I wish Stranger Things had stayed good. But they didn't really evolve. They just stayed in the kids' lives, and they needed to worry about, like... Well, they stayed in the kids' lives, excuse me, but they needed to also, like, worry about the overall. They got too into the 80s part of it. I love 11. Yeah. I love 11. 11 was great. Yep. Okay, so... This is the recycler. I want to live here. I built a base, but I don't want to keep it. Or, well, I do. But I want to live here, too. Oh, I don't know. Where do I live? I live, like... over here, I think. Okay, well, I learned where the recycler is from where I live. I'm on the other side of it, damn it. If I go around the left side, I'll reach the recycler. MK Ultra. Mm-hmm. That's what I just said. No. But it's a possibility. I just said it on stream. I believe it's possible, but do I believe it? No. Poopy fart. I believe it. What do you mean not enough space? Good. Good job. Yep, please do. Yep. Fuck him. Fuck him. Fuck his family. Fuck everybody. Fuck him. Fuck him. But fuck him. He's a Republican. Fuck him. He's worthless. Get him gone. No, that's me. That's the progressives. Probably the progressives really don't like you. That's probably the progressives you're talking about. The progressives say fuck Donald Trump. Fucking fuck with him. Fuck everything he does. Fuck him. Fuck the Republican Party. Fuck the Democratic Party. What you're talking about is progressives. We hate you. We hate Donald Trump. We hate you. Why do you talk about George Soros all the time like he's your fucking daddy master on Reddit or something like that? He's not your Reddit daddy, pimp. Shut the fuck up. I don't care about George fucking Soros. I don't care. Shut the fuck up. Fuck him. Fuck Trump. Fuck anybody who rolls with him. Fuck the Republican Party. Fuck anybody who fucking likes him. You know what I'm saying? No. Fuck him. Don't talk about George Soros. That has nothing to do with this. The guy's a fucking asshole. Fuck him. Fuck Trump and anybody who rolls with him. Said it on my stream many times. Like, these guys, it's weird. I think they're hesitating when they try to say things. I don't care about what I said. I don't care. Or I'll straight say, fuck them, fuck anybody rolls with them. You know? Now, I'll take each person on a case-by-case basis, but I mean, like, you know, if I don't know them, I'll just say fuck them. You know? Like Bagon. Bagon's a Trump supporter. I think he's a good Trump supporter. You know? He has his reasons. You know why he likes him. He's fine. I'm talking about the average person who just votes for him who has no idea who the fuck he is or who he rolls with or anything like that. If you really want to like Trump, I'm okay with that. If you just want to vote for him when you don't know who he is, I think fuck him, fuck anybody who rolls with him. Yeah. We don't want accidental Republicans. We want on purpose Republicans. We don't want accident Republicans. We want on purpose Republicans. I'm sure they would say the same. I want like a research bench, but I don't think I have enough. Nope. So we're going to go out. I need fuel, but I don't know where a boiler is, so that's the next goal. Got to find a boiler somewhere in that mess. I don't have a light source. I'm going to run a kit. Redeem. Throw that in the box. Yep, but I'll take the arrows. They're helpful. Yep, and I'll take the crossbow. It's helpful as well. There we go. We'll put the crossbow... I don't know. I really kind of need HP in the crossbow. I need it to hit where I'm shooting. I don't care about... Yeah, I want these both to load HP because I need it to hit where I'm shooting. We'll get rid of these finally. They're so fucking annoying. You're so annoying. And I can't see them either. I'm going to build a fire so I can fucking see them. Give me like 300 wood or something. Yep, 200 wood. No. Make that campfire. Oops. Yeah, how deep does this go? How deep does the Trump shooting go? Who knows? I really don't know. Poopy far. Yep. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. I can. I do. I do. I do. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. I like the frames better on Nvidia. Not me. Gamer. Yep, that's the gamer. No, it's not typical, no. Yep. Nope, I'm different, bitch. No. Not everything the government does is a lie. No, not at all. No. I love my government. They help me all the time. I love my government, but I also hate them, you know? I hate them because of the bad things they do, but they do many good things too. You know? I'm not their friend and they're not my friend, but ooh, I got a level. Yeah. Full flag, full flag, full flag. Full flag, full flag. False flag. It almost looked real. Oh. I mean... I'd rather just not make any comment. I wouldn't ever say something like that, no. It's because they're stupid. Nope. Just another governmental agency. Nope. It's not fair to assume that of them. It's not. I think they would tell you themselves. Nope. They're just civil servants. Nope. Civil servants. They're just humans, same as you and I. They have problems and they vote for people. They're humans. They are civil servants. We love them. I'm going to start talking. They are civil servants. We love them. They're humans just like us. They have wives and children. They're on the front line. We love them. They have problems just like us. They're not perfect. They're the civil service or the Secret Service or the SS or the CIA or the FBI or the KKK or any of these other triple A's, right? Or sorry, not triple A's, but the triple letters. And they're humans. They're susceptible. They're corrupt. They have problems. They're not perfect. They're fat. They're out of shape. They've been eating wheat all their lives, so their bellies are gorged, and just they're not doing so good. And do we hate them? No, I hate them when they do stuff like kill John Lennon, and I would like to prosecute them for this. But do I hate them? I don't think so. I don't believe so. Do I hate them? No, no. I don't hate them, no. They are Americans. They have a right to be here. They have a right to fuck up. They have a right to choose a political party. They have a right to engage in assassination. Like, they're humans. Like, I believe in freedom. I believe in American freedom of them being able to do whatever the fuck they want to do, honestly. I mean, I believe in that freedom. Sometimes that's killing somebody like Trump or something like that. I think it's like them living out their freedom. All the time. Sometimes I think like they would like me for saying this. All the time, I think they're just exercising their freedoms, just like we are. They're exercising their freedoms to train people with LSD. They're just doing that. That's American freedom. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. If you guys forgot what freedom was, and I dislike them for it, and I kind of hate them for it, but I don't hold it against them for living out their freedom, whatever that means to them. Whatever that means to them. Like, if it's fascism or not fascism, but like if it's telling you what to do, then so be it. Then so be it. That's just who they are. If they need to tell you what to do, then that's who they are. They're like, I like, unity to me is understanding that they have weaknesses just like we have weaknesses, and we're not perfect, any of us. And unity means loving them despite their fucking fascist ways. We can't dishold their right to believe in maybe LSD unlocking something about humans, because it obviously does. And if they put you under like 6 weeks of intense LSD dose and they convince you to do something to turn you into a sleeper cell, maybe it's their business to do so. That's them exercising their political right to use their power to do something and perform an experiment. I don't hate them or want them to die for it. I just don't want them to do it again. And we'll call it dark times, and we'll be like, well, okay, we'll call it dark times, and I don't want to forgive you. I just don't want to fight you. You're my fellow Americans. I don't want to forgive you, but I don't want to fight you either. I don't want to fight you over it. I don't want some revolution. I don't want some fucking uprest or anything like that. Well, I mean, I wouldn't mind a revolution, but I believe the American people far too lazy for that. I'm far too lazy for that. I don't believe a revolution is necessary. I just need you to stop doing nasty things. Stop doing nasty things and price fixing everything and turning the world into a toilet, attacking your own people, and weaponizing the right. Quite literally. Ooh, what's that? It's a seismic sensor. Okay. Oh yeah, like, okay. Some paranoid nerds are like, we need a way to tell me if my base is being raided. We need it. Yeah, we do need it. These things are so annoying. They've been following me for so long. Get off me. Any other runners? No. Let's carve you all down. I'm sick of you. It's a huge fucking horde. Let's get all of you motherfuckers. I swear to God. Let's get all of you. Oh, I can't believe I missed. What? You are so annoying. Like, you're good XP, but you're also really annoying. Fucking huge pack. Motherfucker. Okay. Any others? Nope. Nice. That's not bad. I actually needed that. Yeah. Ah, give me something better. Oh, I got a level. Yeah, yeah. So what do we do? I guess I finish out instantly mine. Yeah, we're just gonna keep going until it's all done. Yeah, we got another 5 points to do in that. That's okay though. How's this going? Oh, I am finally here, am I? Yeah, I'm finally out here. Yep, Abyssal Bez. Okay. Now I want you to align to station. Oh, good. And I can just exit out the back. Yeah, but turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. And halt the speed. 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 Yep. Nope. Go back towards it. Turn it on and go approach, and then turn it off. Now stop. Okay, good. Now align back to the station without the micro warp drive. Oh, new mail from Blayrogue. Let's see what he says. I have forgotten. Mail. Happy mining. Yeah, yeah, happy mining. Yep, good. He sent me a mail. Psst. Yes. Hello, Blayrog. Hello, Blayrog. I would like to do. Well, I don't want to start a convo, but I want to reply to. How do I reply to this? There we go. Reply. Hello, Blayrog. I would like more abyssals, but must gamble couple more days. Thank you for stopping in. Send mail. And there's a response, you know what I'm saying? But need to gamble for a couple more days while I farm. Oh, he sent me a mail. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. How much you want? Check also check mail with private subject. Check mail with private subject. Okay, with private. Oh, okay. Okay. Check mail. Oh, okay. One sec. Okay. One moment. Check mail. Okay, privet. Privet. Hello, doing it here again, but only Mike. Fix that, please. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes. Oh God, has my sound been dead all day? Yes, my sound has been dead all day. Cute. Really fucking cute. Sorry, guys. Windows. Wow. Yeah. No sound all day, huh? Thank you for helping me. Thank you, Blade Rog. How much do you want? 500 mil. Same as always. Be some days 2, 3 maybe. Or no, I'm sorry. It'll be longer than that. It's actually maybe some days though. Some days like it's actually like 10 days. I think some 10ish. Thank you for letting me know about sound. I didn't know I didn't know the Windows had glitched. I mean, I can't detect when Windows has failed. I could have, but I didn't see it. But anyways, thank you so much. Yeah, how much you want? The same as always, 500 mil. You know. Yeah, search for this. This doesn't sell. No contracts found. Wow. So yes, we have sound now. Okay, good. And we go. Thank you, Blade Rod. I thought I had sound. I can't believe I got fucked like this all day. But I mean, this often happens. You'd be surprised how often the software people fail really badly at their fucking job. This is not my fault. I checked the desktop audio today as I got new headphones yesterday, right? I got new headphones yesterday. I had sound find all yesterday. This is the second day of the headphones. The OBS disconnects the headphones because the OBS is incompetent, even though they're a billion-dollar company. They're goddamn incompetent. Streamlabs, they're goddamn incompetent. And they have a terrible front end and software that's fucking horrible. And then, so the second day, not the first, but the second day, I don't come back looking at the desktop audio because it was fine day one. But no, day two, the OBS and the Microsoft had sucked each other's dicks in a big failure circle jerk of software developers to suck each other's dicks and fail all day. And I don't have sound. You know, and that's great. And I honestly, it's happened so much, so often, all the time. It happens so much, so often, all the time, every single day, for 3 solid years, 710, or more than that, like goddamn 1,000 days in a row. 1,000 days now. It's done it every single day. OBS, Windows, some kind of failure. Some kind of terrible software failure. Every single fucking day. Some games, some software, some OBS, some Windows, something. So every single day I experience catastrophic loss because the people that we pay billions of dollars to just went and spent it on child sex and governments and lobbies and corruption and McMansions and McLarens and all that stupid ass shit. And so, yeah, and so every day I deal with software failure on a massive fucking scale. At least one, if not, 2 times a day, something really bad happens, like what just happened, where I went. Let's see, at least it hasn't been that long. It's only been 3 hours and 45 minutes without sound. Isn't that fun? And I'm sorry, but it's very difficult to monitor all of the ways that the Microsoft can fail, the OBS can fail, the games can fail, the Nvidia can fail, the Steam can fail, the games can fail, the sound, the Microsoft, the headphones, the Windows, the VPN, the fucking Razer program, the 7.1 translation, the fucking dead sound in the OBS. OBS gets dead sound drivers whenever you change anything. things. So you get these like, I can't read the Razer Black Shark thing here. And that's OBS, but it's also all of the other fucking things. It's all of the other things all at once. So yeah, and so I'm sorry for the bad sound, but thank you to Blabrog for pointing out to me that I had dead sound. It would have taken me a long time to detect that OBS was secretly fucking me in the ass behind my back, but that's generally how software developers are today. I consider my relationship with general software developers like OBS and Microsoft and Blizzard and Squaresoft and CCP, well, not CCP, no, not CCP, but almost every other goddamn fucking entity out there. Not CCP, no, but almost every other goddamn entity out there. I expect to get fucked in the ass when I'm not looking. When I'm sleeping, they'll reset their settings. When I'm logging into their program, they'll reset their settings. When I don't look, they turn off my desktop audio on something that's so crucial and all this other stuff. And so I've just come to expect getting stabbed in the back by software developers who want to pass the costs of doing business on to the consumer every single time that they make a piece of software. Even down to the calculator in Windows, it's like that. Even the calculator is actually woefully bad. This calculator is actually woefully fucking bad. It's like woefully bad. And, and I'm sorry, but watching failure from the software developers of the world makes me very sick in my soul. And I'll make it into a drama. And I'll say, Microsoft, swiggity swooty, Microsoft, I'm coming after your fucking booty. Microsoft, I'm coming after you for years and years of stealing. Or, IBM and the Holocaust. IBM and the Holocaust is a pretty fun little deep dive, IBM and the Holocaust, the strategic alliance between, Nazi Germany and IBM in the first few weeks. It turns out that Microsoft and all the software developers of the world for the last 100 years have been selling all of their software to our enemies for a higher price so that we lose every single war. From World War II to Vietnam to Vietnam or Afghanistan. Turns out that, Microsoft has been selling the best software to our enemies for as long as we can, remember, to the Nazis, I wish I wasn't kidding, but this is the Wikipedia about IBM and the Holocaust. And so am I surprised that I wake up and a friend of mine who I have a good relationship with warns me that my sound is off because, OBS and Microsoft and all the software developers of the world just stabbed me in the back again? No, they've been doing it since 1933. I don't even get angry about it anymore. Some developers, some content creators might be like, oh, well, I lost 3.5 hours of my life because of some lie that some piece of shit software told me. I view it as no, since 1933, they've been stealing and fucking and lying and fucking children like Bill Gates and fucking children and showing up on the Lolita Express and all these other things. I consider the software developers worse than the mafia. I consider them worse than any world military, worse than the Palestine, worse than the Israel. You know what I'm saying? Like, not that Israel's bad. I'm just saying, like, in terms of warmongering and stealing and fucking over the world and destroying us, the software developers are as bad as an enemy as we've ever had. As something like the Nazis, the Bitcoin rug pullers are all the same people as the software developers. All the people that fucked us with the banks in 2008, that's the software developers in the lobby. That's where they meet. And the software developers have been fucking us worse than the mafia and the world militaries combined. We must stop them now. We must stop their wild west of their reality. We must stop them. And so every single time I get fucked by OBS and lied to about some sound driver or something like that, and you lose 3.5 hours of your work, every single time Microsoft Word or RTF, rich text, RTD or RTF, rich text document goes off, every single time a rich text document goes off, did you really save that document? Because if you're trusting Microsoft, I don't suggest you do. I suggest that Microsoft probably deleted that document, and you should actually go and look and make sure. If you're ever saving a document, I suggest you double check and verify that file exists, because most of the time Microsoft is actually so buggy coded, I don't believe it's capable of saving. I don't believe it capable of saving. I really don't. I don't believe Microsoft Windows to be capable of saving settings. And I will just speak out against software development for a long time. I will do so because I deal with the ravages of their shortchanging and passing the cost of doing business on to the average consumer as essentially the worst theft in history. And I will get off this subject now. I don't really want to be on this subject, but I'm not kidding. I wish there wasn't a Wikipedia about IBM and the Holocaust, but the strategic alliance between the bad people and the software developers have existed for 100 years, and they work and deal with our worst enemies, and they work and buy child molestation porn and children, and they run child sex rings, and they run the deep state and the cabal. The software developers are the worst people on the planet. We're talking about our Elon Musks, our Bill Gates. I'm not kidding. Don't believe me? Then look at the 100 years of the software developers and the Wild Wild West and the lawless goddamn reality that they have had.
A Marine Corps scout sniper, and he did counter sniper stuff.
I mean, and it sucks. Like, I wish I didn't have to bring this up, but every time one of the software developers stabs me in the back and passes on their fucking cost of doing business onto the consumer, I'll give the rant because I'm not stupid. I know what the fuck they're doing. They took the billions, they ran to the bank, they used it on child sex and bullshit. They sold Microsoft for military to our military, and so we go and fight our enemies with Microsoft for military because Microsoft is the worst corporation in the history of mankind short of the Nazis. They're the same thing. They're the same thing. And I wish I wasn't kidding. So, and that's my rant. Gonna get off here. You think I'm gonna talk about this all night like some kind of nut? But no, I dropped the fucking facts. I dropped the Wikipedias. I dropped the facts! These are real things that are happening, and I will stop here because I don't need to speak any further. It's reality whether you believe it or not to be. It's the goddamn truth whether you want it to be or not. Yeah, Bill Gates actually was Sauron. I hate to say it, but Bill Gates and Palantir are actually Sauron, and we're about to live out Lord of the Rings. I hate to say it, but it is goddamn true. It is true. Toasted Toad's truth. It is absolutely true. I hate to say it, but it is, And so we get off this horrible subject of why my sound was off for 3.5 hours. It's not me. I check my settings every goddamn morning. It's the software developers passing the cost of business onto the consumer and fucking us in the ass as usual. You know what I'm saying? As usual. When was Microsoft, when was Microsoft for military, right? We sent our boys to Afghanistan with Windows NT from 1995, right? Remember Microsoft for military? No, you don't, because nobody wants you to know about this, right? Yeah, but Microsoft for military is actually a fucking thing. Yeah, Microsoft for military. Yeah. Yeah, we fuck our boys going overseas so they lose their fights in places like Vietnam with the Microsoft. We actually give them Microsoft from really, really a long time ago. We make sure that they lose those wars. That's the software developers and what they did to our governments in the world. If it didn't happen, I wouldn't say it, But yeah, I mean, like here, I'll show you Microsoft for military. Microsoft for military is insane. Microsoft for military is, yeah, like, I'm not kidding.
2 weeks ago, I was researching Google's work with military drones when I noticed something really weird in the footage.
Yeah, it turns out that Microsoft for military is using Xbox 360 controllers and Windows 1995 to fight to fight that war in Afghanistan. That's what we're going to fight anybody we fight new. That's how we're going to fight them new. Is when 2030 comes around, we're still going to be using Microsoft 95 Microsoft 95 for Microsoft for military in 2030. We're going to be using a 35-year-old OS because the Microsoft and the software developers, this isn't a mistake that my sound goes out for 3.5 hours. That's not a mistake. That is because they pass the cost of the business on to the consumer. Not only OBS, but all of them, from Microsoft to OBS to Streamlabs to Amazon to fucking, all of them pass the cost of business on to the consumer. All of them in every single way. And they comprise Sauron and pretty much the Shadow now. Palantir and Microsoft and Bill Gates and all of the foreign Operation Ivy Bells and all this other stuff, right? Operation Ivy Bells. This is literally like Yeah, like, I'm not kidding. I can pull the Wikipedia, right? There's cables running all over the world that all the software developers tapped into and sold to all the world governments, which is how we got Bill Gates. And I'm not kidding. Go and look. Operation Ivy Bells. These are things that are actually real. And it's not some goddamn like myth or something. It's not some fucking. It's not. I wish it was. I wish these things were. I really wish these things were some paranoid schizophrenic's like vision of conspiracy theory. But no. These are very, very acknowledged things by the government. These are things that are a matter of public record. They're the only things that I will say.
This Air Force officer is flying a $60 million...
Yeah, because they gave them Windows NT and Xbox 360 to run our drones in Afghanistan. When you see the reality, you really want to hurt them really bad and talk out loud about how really bad they are. I really hate them. I think they're the worst thing that's ever happened to the human race. I mean, maybe short of Hitler and the Nazis. I really do. I kind of hate them. And so when I lose 3.5 hours of sound because I didn't check here... Right? I didn't check here. I didn't check here. I didn't check here. I didn't check here. And then I didn't come here. And I didn't check 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 here. I didn't check here. And I didn't come here. And I didn't check here. And I didn't check here. And then I didn't check here. And I didn't check here. And then I didn't come here. And I didn't come here. And then if I didn't check it here, right? If I don't check here, I'm not sure if this comes to this, right? I didn't check here. And so if I didn't check the 67 different ways that the software developers could fuck you in the ass and break that chain, it's my fault somehow. But no, it's actually a bunch of worthless piece of shit software developers who charge us billions and billions of dollars for some kind of crazy hex weave that doesn't work. From our military to our governments and everything in between. Now, maybe you're from Russia and China, you didn't do that, but America sure did. Maybe you're from Russia or China or like, I don't know, Israel, and your government didn't do that. But America and Britain did do that. Australia did do that. They pretty much hex-weaved a bunch of confused software code instead of actually making real code. And they sold it to us for the highest bidder. They sold Windows Military to us 35 years ago, but they never, ever upgraded it. So in 1995, we got Microsoft's military empire. But they stopped updating, the American Army. They stopped updating the American military back in 1995. That is how evil Microsoft actually is, and I wish to kill them. So am I surprised when they kill my sound for 3.5 hours? One of the 45 different ways that they could have killed my sound from here to here. I mean, I went through it from all the different ways that they could kill my sound. There are 65 different ways they could kill my sound. So when I'm surprised one of the pieces of buggy piece of shit code fails, no, I am not surprised. I don't get angry anymore. I just tell the truth about what's actually happening as they steal from us live in real time and try to kill the human race. Use software to kill the human race. The zombie apocalypse that you grew up with, that's the software developers. When the grid goes down and the water doesn't run anymore, it doesn't matter what country you're from, you have the zombie apocalypse inside of 48 hours. And that's what we built all of our reality on. Buggy piece of shit software from 47 years ago. This is the truth. This is the truth of Russia, China, America, all of these fucking places. It doesn't matter. We built our fucking infrastructure on buggy piece of shit software that Bill Gates sold us from 1995. It's almost 2030. It's been almost 35 years since software has worked. And I'm dead serious about this. I wish I wasn't kidding. But I mean, every single time something fails, I'm like, oh good, well one of the different things failed. I mean, that's just bound to happen. We just forgive them and we don't ever do antitrust lawsuits or sue them in court or anything like that. We just accept the software failure. We accept the loss of the Vietnam War and World War II. Well, we won World War II, thank God. But I mean, it was without the software developers, it would have been a lot easier. Without the software developers selling to the Nazis, maybe your grandfather wouldn't have been shot in World War II. Shall I pull the IBM, IBM and the Holocaust again? If IBM hadn't been selling to Hitler, maybe your grandfather hadn't been shot in World War II, This is how bad the software developers were 100 years ago. Imagine what they're like now. And that's all I have to say about this sound outage. I'm terribly sorry. I did not mean to get off on the paranoid rant. It's just that, you know, it is the truth. I will say the truth when I this is the truth, you know? This is the truth. I'm not lying. I mean, this is, sooner or later, you actually have to look at reality. The software developers actually kind of killed the world. I believe Bill Gates to be Sauron, and Palantir is the Eye of Sauron. And Operation Ivy Bells and all the blackmail and the CIAs and the KKKs and the FBIs of the world. Same thing, all of them. Same rich white men killing the world. Same rich white software developers sleeping with children on the Lolita Express and selling out our governments to the highest lobby. And, you know, kibitzing and lying and blackmailing world governments over child sex and stuff like that. And Operation Ivy Bells. I wish I wasn't kidding, but these are the accusations that I would make in court.
Always
as a prosecutor, you know?
On having access to the...
I'm Jim Garrison for the Microsoft. I'm Microsoft's Jim Garrison. I'm here to tell you how really bad they are, so when they kill my sound for 3.5 hours, I am not surprised.
Technology.
You know? Not surprised.
Thousands of Google workers now
Oh, you turned it up, did you? No, we're going... Oh, yeah.
protesting Google's involvement in a Pentagon drone program.
Oh, good! Google's involvement. We're always happy when Google and Microsoft conspire to sink the entire world and create Palantir.
Microsoft.
Pretty fun, huh? When Sauron becomes a reality and the Eye of Sauron becomes Palantir and Microsoft and Google become literally the shadow. Isn't it fun? Some dude warned us a long time ago. And I'm getting off this crazy, you know, I do not want to have a conspiracy theory crazy episode. But I mean, I know why the sound goes out. The sound worked for two solid days. On the third day, the sound goes out because there's a software developer behind the sound. The sound worked for 2 solid days. Third day, and just like that God parable, on the third day, the software fails. After 2 solid days of working perfectly with brand new headphones, right? On the third day, the software fails. Are we surprised? No. Look at Y2K. No, we are not surprised. Nope. So understand, you know, and that's all I have to say about this. Let's get on to something else that's far more positive, like AAA software developers fucking the AAA scene. Let's go from software developers fucking us on a Microsoft micro level. Microsoft, micro. Let's go to the macro level where they're fucking the parents and the children who buy the games. Isn't that fun?
Everyday earbuds.
Let's go learn about how they fuck us with video games. Yay, software developers. Yay!
Refresh of Raycons in years.
Gotta pee. I love giving my anti-Microsoft rant. It's so fun. Every single time that Microsoft attacks me, I hit them right where it hurts, right on their stock level. Let's see how they do in 10 years. Every single time that Microsoft fucking crosses me, like they just did, I'm gonna slam them where it hurts. Their goddamn stock ticker, and I'm not kidding either. I will slaughter them where it hurts. I will take their stock ticker down to nothing, and I will kill Microsoft. The more I show the world how really incompetent they actually are, how good could their stock absolutely do, honestly. And I will kill Microsoft. I will try and kill Microsoft. I don't care. I hate Microsoft. I like really do. I really want them to stop stealing from us and killing the world. I kind of do. I like Jesus Christ. Like after Microsoft for military and the Microsoft and IBM for the Holocaust, and and the Afghanistan war. I believe Microsoft has left us in such a weakened state that I do not believe America to be a very sovereign power. This is because our software is from 1995. How could we possibly compete with China? We have software from 1995. Bill Gates stole all the money and spent it on children. and NDA and NDA agreements, you know, and philanthropy. So, anyways,
reasonable price. Click the link below to get 20 to 40% off your order, plus free
I wish I was
shipping.
kidding, but
Stick around
no.
to the end of the video
No.
to learn more. Gamers, hello and welcome to another edition of This Week in Video Games. Now, I know we are all very excited to take a deep dive.
Yeah, we're really excited to play a lot of these horrible games that really suck. Yeah, really, really. Yeah, let's see.
With remarkable critic reviews pouring in for the new Borderlands film and the accompanying Randy Pitchford meltdown on Twitter. But before that, we've got some very important admin to knock over first. Question, are you going to Gamescom? If so, then be sure to stop by the Friends Per Second podcast live show that will be happening at 4 p.m. on Thursday. I'd earlier said 5 p.m., but that was wrong. 4 p.m., it's 2 hours of Lucy, Jake, and I. Will I do some iconic Australian breakdancing? Never say never. If Raygun can get away with it, then maybe so can I. Okay, so with all that out the way, can I ask you another question? Were you one of the 6 people who saw Borderlands at the movies this past weekend?
No.
That's right.
No.
The Borderlands movie arrived.
Nope. Oh, hey, they're fucking us in movies now. They're giving us movies that are worthless, too. With their worthless CGI. Notice how they're all software developers, and now they've given us Marvel and software development and, you know, and the Borderlands movie, and it's all software related, right? It's all software related. Anywhere this software touches turns to shit. Complete shit. They're king shitters. Anything software touches except for old games, you know, old games.
Very well.
Anything it touches, like from the cell phones, are worthless. That like fill landfills with these things that can't even barely unlock. You know, these things can't even barely unlock. Look at me try. Oh my god, I am not messing up. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, and I'm just like, okay, yeah, you've been stealing from us for a long time. Sooner or later, somebody has to actually say something.
6 days after the premiere. This already feels like really old news, as though society has collectively agreed to pretend as though the Borderlands movie does not exist so we can spare ourselves the pain. But it does exist, allegedly.
I wish Microsoft failure wasn't what came up every single time I tried to talk to somebody, but it does. It comes up every single time I try to talk to anybody. It's literally a barrier in everything that we do. I hate to say it, but it is. It's a barrier in everything that we do. It's unfortunate. We let our software get 35 years behind, and now we have this. Ugh.
Though movie theaters would probably be the most dubious on that statement, having looked at their box office receipts after the opening, the movie pulled in just $8 million, even though it opened across over 3,000 cinemas. That means it made an average of $2,600 per cinema, and if a ticket is roughly $20 a pop, only about 20 people per day per cinema went to see this film. If you have, like, I don't know, 5 to 10 screenings a day, there's a good chance that people watching this movie were doing so completely alone. That's exactly what happened to my friend Mr. Matty Plays when he saw it. His review of the film is up on his channel, by the way. Do check it out if you get a chance. Borderlands had a budget of over $115 million, plus an additional $30 million for marketing, which puts this film on track to be one of the biggest flops in cinematic history. And it's just the dollars and cents side of things. We haven't even spoken about the critic scores yet. Borderlands debuted to a Rotten Tomatoes score of 0.
Oh,
Like,
good.
actually
Zeros.
0.
That's always
Imagine if
good.
the next Borderlands game arrived.
I can imagine that it will. It already did. It was Borderlands 3. What the fuck are you talking about? Imagine if the next Borderlands arrived and it was Borderlands 3. It already happened. What are you talking about? Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a good game, but it's not a good game. And, like, I'm sorry, but it's better than Borderlands 3. And, like, really, like, Borderlands 3, man, that already happened. What are you talking about? Imagine if Borderlands was bad. Yeah, we already know what happened. It went from Borderlands 2 to Borderlands 3. How did that happen? How did you go from Borderlands 2 to Borderlands 3? I would return to Borderlands 2, but Borderlands 2 is incredibly bad and won't let you change your aiming sensitivity. Or I would replay Borderlands 2 over Borderlands 3 or Tiny Tina's Wonderlands or any other weird revival shit that you want to do to the video game industry that it doesn't need, you know? I don't think this revival shit, I don't think the video game industry needs it, you know? I really don't. I don't think so.
Recommended it. That is what happened to this film. The score...
Yeah. Look, software developers got a hold of Hollywood. Now we have Marvel and the Borderlands and Disney. Look at what happened to Disney. Look at what they did to Disney after the Phantom Menace. You know? Oh.
Slightly when a YouTuber by the name of Grace Randolph gave the first positive review. Her pinned comment at the top of her video is quite funny, quote, I set this upload at 3 AM, and I'm pretty shocked to discover this morning that, at least so far, I'm the only positive review on Rotten Tomatoes, end quote. Her review focused mainly on Kate Blanchett, who she's a big fan of, but she didn't have many kind words to offer about the rest of the cast or the movie in general. Right now, though, Borderlands sits at a sterling 9% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the punters view it a little better, putting it at a 52% audience score. The Guardian scored this one 1 star out of 5 and said, quote, video game adaptations have spewed out some serious clunkers over the years, but even by the lamentable standards of the genre, Eli Roth's reshoot-plagued Borderlands is abysmal, end quote. So the movie is bad and a commercial flop, but look, it happens. That shows
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, no, it didn't happen until software got a hold of Hollywood. Now Bill Gates ruined Hollywood with his weird software theory. Like there is such a thing as giant software corruption, and it's been rampant for 100 years. They've had zero oversight, zero congressional inquiry, nothing at all, nothing about Microsoft for military, nothing about the Marvel and shitification of Hollywood or anything like that. They don't face anything. No. So just and listen to him. He just has to be like, well, I guess software companies are just bad. Listen to him when he says it. Listen to what he says when he says it. He's like, well, I guess software failures are just inevitable. No, not until these people got involved. No, we weren't really known for a lot of software failures. Even Ralph Bakshi did okay back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s with, stuff like Wizards and heavy metal, right? The minute that the software developers got a hold of all of it, with their lawlessness and their cash-ins and their AI and their CGI and their Palantir and their lies and their wild west with no laws or anything. And now we have this. This is what happened. You let them steal for 30 years and make all those crappy fucking movies. You guys love Toy Story. I thought Toy Story was a fucking warning that we would never ever see Wizards the Sword in the Stone. I'm sorry, the Sword in the Stone. We would never see Robin Hood or the Sword in the Stone again. When I saw goddamn Toy Story, I was like, no, we're never gonna have goddamn like an actual Fantasia ever again. And I wasn't wrong. We had close with Frozen, but for every Frozen, there's goddamn 300 piece of shit software developer failures. That just, were failures of software development. I really believe it. I'm sorry. And so I don't speak out like these things need to die. I'm not a Luddite. I'm saying that the oversight needs to happen, and it has not happened. Not at all. That's all.
Go on.
Look, the oversight it's clear. It needs to be, it's clear.
That's what you got to do, right?
Borderlands was never this crap from Barbie. Borderlands was like, I don't know. Do you guys remember what Borderlands is actually like? It's like you're out in the desert, and there's like a couple of machines that are funded by some political dude in the stars. But the rest of it is like you and bandits and dog demons and weird aliens and stuff, right? On a really forsaken place with a lot of horrific gun violence and terrible blood and crazy killing. It's not this Barbie bullshit. It's not this IBM fucking, IBM and the Holocaust software development failure. It was the Borderlands.
Well, maybe, but not if you're Randy Pitchford, CEO of Gearbox Studios and 2019 Medieval Times Customer of the Year. With the reception to the movie clear for all to see, Randy thought that the best thing to do would be to tweet through it, passive-aggressively asking people if it should have had a different plot, and then getting weirdly dismissive when people offered different suggestions as to why the film was bad. He got so upset that he just started blocking people, including, the biggest Borderlands content creator, plus Paul Tassi of Forbes, who was clearly no fan of the film, but, no one else was either, so it seems a bit strange to single out Paul Tassi, given that his feedback was far from toxic or personal. Pitchford then tweeted out a link to Paul Tassi's book, being like, should I read this? I'm trying to build a bridge here, which was clearly just a really obvious and immature attempt to invite people to dunk on Paul Tassi's book or something. And then he went on some big, I'm not mad, please don't write in the newspaper that I got mad tirade about how he thinks Paul Tassi is a dick and is obsessed with Borderlands, even though Paul Tassi is neither of those things. Regardless of the movie's performance or Pitchford's antics, the Borderlands games are actually getting getting a bump out of the movies. The Steam player counts for Borderlands 3 have recently quadrupled, as fans are no doubt keen to wash the bitter taste of the movie out of their mouth by reminding themselves the source material is actually good. And Randy Pitchford has teased on more than one occasion that we should expect a Borderlands 4 in the not too distant future. The movie is unlikely to join The Last of Us or Fallout TV shows in the all-timers category. In fact, it's far more likely to be remembered alongside Street Fighter or the Dennis Hopper Mario movie. But
The Dennis Hopper Mario movie. Oh no. Yeah, it's like really bad. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't need video games to be in my movies. I never did. When did you think that was like a necessary evil? I don't think it's evil. I don't think, like, honestly, Silent Hill was close to good. Even that was like still sort of bad in terms of Hollywood movies. I never needed my video games to travel across the screen beyond what they already did. I've never understood it. I don't need video games to be a movie. I thought the Warcraft movie sucked, and I went there day one. You know, I went there and I got tickets and stuff to prove that I was there, and like it sucked. It sucked. I could barely stay awake. I was like, this sucks. It was so bad. Like, it was so boring. It was like, it was well done and true to the Warcraft like thing, but it was boring. It was so boring. There was all this exposition that just didn't need to be there. There was no characters that I cared about. It was just like, and so at that point I just gave up. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. There we go.
Stand a cinematic flop, so let's all just keep our eyes on the games going forward. Here's some rare good news. Tango Gameworks has been saved. I really couldn't believe it when I read this because it seemed almost too good to be true. But yeah, Tango Gameworks has been resurrected by a very unlikely savior. So the background to all of this is that earlier this year, Microsoft announced the closure of a number of studios, including Arcane Austin, after the disappointing release of Redfall. That did sort of make sense.
Redfall. It's Redfield. Shadow of the Redfield.
After all, the studio had found modest.
Shadow of the Redfield is the phrase I use to describe modern software development. It's called Shadow of the Redfield. Shadow of the Redfield, right? Between Shadow of the Erdtree and Starfield and Redfall, you have proof that the software developers are trying to kill the video game industry, trying to kill the movie industry, trying to kill the military industry, trying to kill the governments, trying to kill everything with Palantir. The software developers are trying to kill everything we know and love, I would say. Even the movies, even Hi-Fi Rush. The software developers, they're killing everything and everything we love. I'm lumping them all in, but I mean, I kind of think they are, though. Am I wrong?
In 1 and 2.
I don't think so. I'm not wrong.
Ghostwire Tokyo, but they found huge
ever since they took over in the year 2000, we've had terrible shit.
Success with Hi-Fi Rush, the rhythm-infused action game that Microsoft themselves said exceeded all their expectations. The closure of that studio after delivering something so excellent felt like a real betrayal and really shook faith in the Xbox brand in a way that still resonates to this day, I think. A few months after that, the studio did push out the final update for Hi-Fi Rush. They said their goodbyes on Twitter, and that was all she wrote. Until all of a sudden, just a few days ago, a press release hit our inboxes announcing that Krafton, the publisher behind
I got a
like
broken
PUBG
leg.
and Callisto Protocol,
No.
were acquiring Tango Gameworks and the Hi-Fi Rush IP. Here's what
damn it.
Krafton said, quote, Krafton Incorporated today welcomed the talented people of Tango Gameworks to their team, marking an exciting moment in the company's global expansion and its first significant investment in the Japanese video game market. The strategic move will include the rights to Tango Gameworks' acclaimed IP Hi-Fi Rush. As part of this strategic agreement, Krafton intends to collaborate with Xbox and ZeniMax to ensure a smooth transition and maintain continuity at Tango Gameworks, allowing the talented team to continue developing the Hi-Fi Rush IP and explore future projects. Krafton intends to support the Tango Gameworks team to continue its commitment to innovation and delivering fresh and exciting experiences for fans, end quote. Both the Evil Within and Ghostwire Tokyo IPs will remain with Microsoft, at least for now, but it's clear that Krafton sees big opportunities with the Hi-Fi Rush IP and plans to pursue those first and foremost. And that's awesome, because that game was fantastic, and I can see a bright future for not only a sequel, but like an animated series, or wherever else Krafton want to take things. Either way, I'm just glad that Tango will live on, and with the same staff, since Krafton have invited all former employees back to the company to recommence their employment. It's a sort of fairy tale ending that you just don't see very often, especially these days. Alright, so here's a weird story. Deadlock is the next game from Valve. You know how I know that? Because right now, as I write this script, over 14,000 people are playing it. And that's off peak, mind you. It's actually peaking at around 23,000 concurrent players.
Wait, what now?
Very often, especially these days. Alright, so here's a weird story. Deadlock is the next game from Valve. You know how I know that? Because right now, as I write this script, over 14,000 people are playing it. And that's off peak, mind you. It's actually peaking at around 23,000 concurrent players. That's like 10 Concords. Not bad for a game that technically does not exist yet. Because yeah, Deadlock has not actually been officially announced by Valve. It's a new game being developed by them, led by IceFrog, the person who created Dota 2, and it's currently in a closed invite-only alpha test. There is gameplay all over the internet because there's just too many people playing it to stop that from happening, and as of yet, Valve, the company making this video game, have not officially acknowledged that this game actually exists. So this is weird, right? It's definitely weird, which is maybe the reason that Sean Hollister of The Verge chose to report on his impressions of Deadlock this week. He published an article based on his time playing the game, and he copped a lot of flack for doing that because when you boot up Deadlock, you actually get a pop-up politely asking you to not discuss it publicly. It's not an NDA, by the way. No one playing this game is under NDA, but Valve are essentially operating under an honor system, at least when it comes to press and content creators. Hollister published his article and then had to update it to include a new revelation. He'd been banned by Valve. They disabled his ability to matchmake in games, so his Deadlock days are done, but they didn't DMCA strike his article, nor have they publicly admonished his reporting. They just made sure he couldn't play the game again since he didn't honor the request that he not share his personal impressions. This resulted in a lot of discourse, with some arguing that his actions were deeply disrespectful and unprofessional, while others argue that it's the job of games journalists to do journalism. And besides, there was no NDA in place anyway. It was similar to the discussion around the Insomniac game. Do you report on the outputs of that or not, given how that information was obtained? It speaks to the tension of what it means to cover and critique games, where journalists and commentators want to respect the work and wishes of the creatives who make games, but are similarly motivated by their desire to service their audiences with scoops and insight. That's a challenge at the best of times, but particularly here, given that this is a game that literally tens of thousands of people have access to and are playing. Is the Games Press supposed to not report on a game being released by the largest platform holder in all of video games? Personally, I think the truth is somewhere in the middle here. Valve are not trying to silence The Verge. They can say whatever they like, and indeed lots of publications have been reporting on Deadlock for months now. All Valve's doing is enforcing their request that you not share personal impressions of gameplay, and the only way they're doing that enforcement is by limiting editors' access to the game. I don't think that Hollister is unprofessional for covering this in the way that he did, though he would have surely known he'd get some blowback for it, but nor do I think that journalists and content creators are negligent if they don't publish an impressions write-up or video. It's perfectly fine to respect the wishes of game makers if that's how you want to cover this industry. Bottom line though, this game exists. Everyone knows that. Do some Googling and you won't struggle to find hours of recorded gameplay. Valve are not trying to keep it a secret. They're just not ready for people with audiences to start offering their impressions yet. And I for one am okay with waiting a little longer before I begin sizing the game up. From what I hear though, the chatter is very good, and while we all roll our eyes when a new hero shooter is announced, this one has the sort of buzz about it that may bode very well for its long-term prospects. A quick lightning round to finish off. A lot of uncertainty at the moment with regards to Warner Brothers and the future of their games division. Financial Times are reporting that executives are weighing up the option of selling off the entire games division, a move intended to steady the company after a 70% decline in stock price since the Discovery merger back in 2022. During a recent earnings call, however, Warner Brothers executives said they were exploring the possibility of licensing out their IP, allowing them to get the upside on any game releases with none of the cost outlays or downside risk. All of this comes as Suicide Squad blew a massive hole in their revenue, delivering a 40% loss for the gaming division for the financial year. That Hogwarts Legacy director's cut cannot come soon enough, it seems. Speaking of media properties, you guys remember High on Life? It dropped 2 years back and was sort of like a Rick and Morty video game. Unsurprising, given that it came from a studio founded by Rick and Morty co-creator Justin Roiland. Anyway, it's all come full circle now, as High on Life is getting an animated series. It's being produced by JB Smoove, who you might remember from Curb Your Enthusiasm, and Justin Roiland is not involved, unsurprisingly. So that adaptation kind of makes sense, but this next one doesn't. Remember Kingmaker? No, you don't, because it's not even out yet. It's literally just a trailer at this point. It's the one that looked like a medieval RTS until all of a sudden a redneck in a pickup truck came barreling through a time portal and starts mowing down infantry with a minigun. It captured our attention immediately, and it seems to have caught the attention of Hollywood as well, as the game is now locked in for a film adaptation. They're making a movie based on a game trailer. I don't know, man. Between this and the Borderlands film, I think we may be in some sort of adaptation bubble that's just about to pop. The Fallout Ended mod has been a smash hit, so much so that the team of people who made it are actually forming their own studio. The head of the project, Dean Carter, said this, quote, "It'll be completely our own thing, and we can create a game that we want, that we think the community will enjoy. Fallout London has been a great springboard for that," end quote. Fallout London is actually the fastest redeemed game of all time over on the platform that hosted it, Good Old Games, so that's an incredible result for a team of volunteers. Wishing them all the best and very excited to play whatever they come up with next. Balatro went absolutely gangbusters when it released earlier this year. It just passed 2 million sales actually, and it's a genuine Game of the Year contender. No word of a lie. Please go and play it if you haven't. It's so popular that the creator is worried that when he dies, some gambling company is going to turn it into an actual gambling game. That's why he's written in his will that the IP will be forever protected from gambling companies, and that Balatro will remain.
Keep them out! Keep them out, buddy! Keep them out!
Concord is releasing next week. I
Corpos.
can't believe it either.
Wars
This
end,
week, the
corpos
developers
don't.
Firewalk have laid out their long-term plans for the game, or at least medium-term. They're promising 3 seasons of content delivered over the next 9 months, each season delivering a new character, a new map, new cosmetics, etc. Interestingly, there will be no in-game purchases at launch, but these will arrive later. Yeah, man, Concord. Gonna be very interesting to see the launch numbers next week when that $40 price tag actually hits. Genuinely hope this one goes the distance, but the odds seem very, very stacked against it. GamesIndustry.biz's Chris Dring has been chatting to developers about the Switch 2, and he says that we shouldn't expect it in Q1 next year. Quote, no developer I've spoken to expects it to launch this financial year. In fact, they've been told not to expect it this financial year. A bunch of people I spoke to hope it's out in April/May, end quote. Obviously, take that with a grain of salt, but Dring is a very reliable journalist and commentator, so I'd be more inclined to believe him than not. And finally, Red Dead Redemption 1 is very likely coming to PC, and the source of that information is, ironically enough, the PSN. There was a listing for an upcoming package that contained both Red Dead 1 and 2,
smoke
described
signal.
itself thusly, quote, Red Dead Redemption features all of the 2023 console version upgrades plus PC-specific enhancements, including support for increased resolutions and frame rates, multiple displays, and other accessories, plus spatial surround sound, end quote. Kind of weird for an official listing to reference a PC port that's not even announced yet, but there have been weirder ways the games have been revealed. Take-Two has since corrected the listing, scrubbing all mention of the PC port, but the barn door is open and the proverbial horse has bolted. PC bros, the wait will soon be over. Some quick sales data to top you off since it's earnings call season, and there's a lot of it. Remedy is perfectly sustainable, but it's currently running at a modest loss despite growing revenues, and sadly, Alan Wake 2 has still not generated any profit. The game is still exclusive to the Epic Games Store, so, you know, maybe have a think about that one, Epic Games. Take-Two is still pulling in about $1.2 billion in net bookings, but that's offset by a $262 million loss associated with Zynga, the mobile publisher they acquired a few years ago that's turned out to be one of the worst acquisitions in video games history. This probably doesn't matter all that much though, as GTA 6 is locked into release next year and will generate more money than all of the Saudi oil fields combined. Bandai Namco sales are up a whopping 56% for the quarter. You know why? That's right, Shadow of the Erdtree, baby. Meanwhile, Sega Sammy's game division has seen strong growth this past quarter. Bookings up 30% thanks to Shin Megami Tensei Vengeance performing well, as well as their 2023 acquisition of Angry Birds maker Rovio, which has seemed to have done pretty well for them. Sony's quarterly sales do not paint a rosy picture on the hardware front. PS5 console sales are down a whopping 27% year on year. A disappointing result, but far less than the 40% reduction that Xbox and Nintendo are seeing at the moment. Game sales are also slightly down this quarter, reflecting the fact that it's been a quiet period in the industry. The total revenue is largely stable owing to better foreign exchange rates and growth in
large battery, yeah.
Square Enix continues to go through it, with net sales down 18% year on year, reflecting underperformance on key titles like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and the decommissioning of a number of live service bets. The company recommitted itself to its streamlining and efficiency efforts, as well as the move to a multi-platform publishing model. There was also a recent leak about the imminent release of a PC port for Final Fantasy XVI, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if we heard something about that at Gamescom. And finally, one studio closure this week. Ready at Dawn, makers of the Order 1886 and one of the best ever VR titles, Lone Echo, is no more. The studio was founded back in 2003 by former Naughty Dog and Blizzard employees and got its start by making games for PSP. The Order was a very divisive PS4 release, praised for its visuals but lambasted for its simple gameplay and extremely short runtime. Their pivot to VR saw them acquired by Meta in 2020, but given that Meta are burning around $5 billion a quarter trying to make the VR segment a thing, some cost cutting was inevitable, and Ready at Dawn is now one of those cut costs. The number of staff laid off is unclear, but it's known to be less than 50. Hopefully they can find new gigs soon, though that is a very tough ask in this current wasteland of layoffs and closures. So what got announced or delayed this week? Well, Disney held their annual D23 event, which is where they show off their upcoming slate of TV shows, movies, and games. Or at least we thought it'd be games, because all we actually got was the reveal of a Marvel-themed Fortnite season with lots of Marvel skins and other Marvel stuff. And look, I actually like Fortnite. dislike buttons right there. Please go to town. I deserve it. But with so many Marvel games currently in development at so many different studios, I was hoping we'd get something a little more meaty than a glorified Fortnite Battle Pass reveal. Here's an announcement that's actually cool. Raf Colantonio was one of the co-founders of Arcane Studios, the studio behind games like Dishonored, Prey, Deathloop, and that other one, which we won't mention. He left that studio after the Bethesda acquisition to start his own thing, a studio called Wolfeye. Their first game was something called Weird West, an isometric immersive sim game set in a supernaturally infused Wild West. I personally did not like it, but a bunch of people did.
I didn't like it, but it was a good
game. The game has been significantly updated, so it's meant to be a hell of a lot better than when I played. Regardless, Wolfeye has now begun teasing their next project, and it's extremely exciting. It's a first-person action RPG set in an alternative America at the turn of the 20th century. The studio released a handful of screenshots showcasing a distinctly steampunk aesthetic. Colantonio describes it this way, quote, something like Fallout meets Dishonored. If there's such a thing as a continuum between Fallout and Dishonored, I would say Prey is somewhere in the middle because it's already more RPG than Dishonored, and this new game is somewhere closer to Fallout as far as the RPG-ness goes, end quote. Absolutely love me some RPG-ness, cannot get enough of it, and very excited to know that this team has set their sights on this sort of project. There's no date for this one yet, but you can sign up for a closed alpha right now. A very unusual move for a game like this, to be honest, but a welcome one. The early access model has proven itself to be extremely valuable in building these big RPGs. Just look at Baldur's Gate 3, and if this team want to involve players in the early phases of development, then that's likely only going to result in a better final product. Speaking of Bethesda, QuakeCon happened this past week, and similar to Disney, no big announcements to write home about. There was the reveal of a new edition of the classic Doom games 1 and 2. It's still Doom, but now it features a new episode called Legacy of Rust, developed by id and Night Dive. It also features 25 new multiplayer maps. All told, this package contains 187 campaign missions and 43 deathmatch maps. You can purchase this at various storefronts, and it's also available right now on Game Pass. In the mood for another extraction shooter? No, but this one actually looks kind of cool. It's called Hunger, and it's set in the Napoleonic era. There's some plague shit going on here as well, some strong horror vibes. The brief snippet of gameplay we got at the back end looks very similar to something like Hunt Showdown, and yeah, given there's no other game quite like Hunt, I think there's room for at least one more of these sorts of games on the market. No date for this one yet, but it's arriving sometime in 2025. It feels like every 6 weeks we get a new DBZ game announced, and I guess it's about that time because here comes another one, and this time it's a MOBA. For real, Dragon Ball Project.
Oh good, let's drive Dragon Ball into the ground now, software
MOBA
developers.
Set in the DBZ universe. It's kind of hard to tell what the game actually looks like underneath all of the overlays and particle effects applied to this trailer, but it does look fairly simple, which is surprising given that it's headed to mobile platforms and PC. No release date for it yet, but there's a beta test running next week, which you can sign up for right now on the game's website. Lollipop Chainsaw Remastered was scheduled for later this year, but for whatever reason, it's arriving early. It'll now ship on September 12th for all platforms. All the craziness from the original, but sadly, none of the original OST. Star Wars Jedi Survivor will go down as one of the worst PC ports, one of the best games released last year, and soon that game will make the jump to last-gen consoles. That was announced a little while ago, but now we know that
last-gen consoles.
Jedi Survivor will be available for PS4 and Xbox One. I am very interested to see how that game will run on those platforms. Very excited about this next reveal. Descenders is getting a sequel. If you missed it, Descenders was a great downhill mountain bike gaming that was doing downhill racing well before Ubisoft's Riders Republic were doing it. Ironically though, Descenders Next is going the same route as Riders Republic in that it now has a number of downhill sports, including snowboarding, mountain boarding, and more to come later. It looks like a good time, no date yet, but sometime next year is likely. And finally, A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead is a single-player horror experience based on the films, but this is an all-new original story set in that universe. It's being developed by Stormwind Games and published by Saber Interactive. It arrives October 17th for all platforms bar Switch. One delay announcement this week, and it's not too surprising. Terminator Survivors is a survival game set in the Terminator universe. But you couldn't have guessed that from the title. This was meant to launch into early access like next month, but we still haven't seen a lick of gameplay, so to now hear that the release has been pushed into 2025 makes a lot of sense. No specific release date for this one yet, but I will keep you posted because I am more than a little interested in this one. So what came out last week? Well, that Warhammer 40k Speed Freaks game launched into early access. This is the one that's kind of like free-to-play Twisted Metal set in the 40k universe. No critic reviews for this one at this point, but it's
really?
fairly
Twisted
niche
Metal
and only
40K,
early access.
really?
But it's 74% mostly positive on Steam. Most of the negative reviews relate to a lack of content, which is standard for early access releases, as well as complaints about the game's monetization, which is standard for free-to-play games. General consensus is that this is a solid foundation, and with some more time, content, and some improvements to the cash shop, it could have a decent future ahead of it. Creatures of Ava is one we've had on our radar for a while now. It's that Monster Hunter collecting game where you don't have to make them fight, but rather work alongside them. A nice premise, and it's great to see it land so well. 89% very positive on Steam and a strong 78 on OpenCritic. GameSpot really loved this one actually, scoring it a 9 and saying, quote, thanks to its blend of platforming, puzzles, and combat, all set in a wonderful world,
Well, I mean, it's good though. Actually, it was okay. It was
seldom
okay.
made anymore.
It was okay.
It's both nostalgic for yesteryear while also creatively reinventing traditional elements of the genre. It routinely defies tropes in every corner of its world. It still feels like the sort of game that is approachable, familiar, and easy to love. With a story that goes harder than one might expect and gameplay that routinely throws new tools and challenges in front of you, Creatures of EvE is surely one of the year's coolest surprises, end quote. Not a bad endorsement. That one's available right now on PC and Xbox via purchase or Game Pass. No word yet on a PlayStation or Switch release. Cat Quest 2 continues the series tradition of being a solid cat-based RPG. People on Steam are loving it, 94% very positive and a strong 81 on OpenCritic. Press Start scored this one an 8 saying, quote, Cat Quest 3 is a succinct, super adorable action RPG that builds on its predecessors with even more variety, accomplished visuals, fun twist, and an absurd dictionary of puns. If you're after an adventure that offers everything you want from a modern RPG in a bite-sized format and less than 10-hour runtime, this is for you, end quote. Little cat pun there to get you in the mood. Nice work, press start. Deathbound was that very weird-looking Souls-like featuring armored Arthurian knights doing capoeira in dark, gritty urban environments. A very odd-looking game that doesn't seem to have fully come together. Only 54 reviews on Steam, and it's sitting at a mostly positive 74%. Critics are pretty down on it though, scoring at a weak 62 on OpenCritic. Shacknews scored this one a 6, saying, quote, Deathbound, like many other Souls-like games before it, brings a few neat ideas to the table. While they are certainly nice to sample and play around with, a lot of the surrounding elements are sluggish and bland. It's still great to see developers having a go at joining the pantheon of games in the genre, but Deathbound didn't leave me wanting to come back for more, end quote. SteamWorld Heist, on the other hand, has done very well for itself indeed. Chatted with my friend Lucy James about this one. She says she booted this up on a whim and ended up playing it for like 8 hours straight. Seems as though she wasn't alone in that one, as it's currently sitting at a very positive 95% on Steam, and critics are also impressed, putting it at a strong 82 on OpenCritic. PC Gamer were on board, scoring this an 81 and saying, quote, SteamWorld Heist 2 combat and progression are brilliantly evolved from the previous game and make for a really sharp yet accessible strategy experience, and those looking for maximum value may well applaud a more substantial offering. But for me, it's hard to shake the feeling that this still impressive machine would have run even more smoothly with a few less bells and whistles, end quote. The one's available right now on all platforms. And finally, Crush House arrived exclusive to PC. It's the latest thing from Devolver Digital. It's a first-person shooter, a game about being a camera person and producer on a reality TV dating show. It's all harmless fun until a dark secret is uncovered, which really is pretty accurate for any reality TV show when you think about it. This one is far more about the vibes and the premise than the actual gameplay though, since it does seem to have a few gaps that hold it back, but none is so severe that it pulls the whole thing down. That's reflected in the review scores. On Steam, it's sitting at a mostly positive 71%, and critics are in a similar spot, scoring at a strong 77 on OpenCritic. Eurogamer scored this one a 4 out of 5 actually, saying, quote, even though some parts might momentarily break the illusion, the Crush House maintains its shiny sheen of plastic perfection, one that hides a dark, sickly goo inside. It touches upon multiple facets of reality TV with sharp satire and wit, including the nature of relationships we have with contestants on these shows, and the industrial turn of people and their lives for our entertainment, and the truth of what's captured on screen impacting what's happening when the cameras are off. You definitely want to tune in for this one, end quote. So what's coming out this week? Well, there's a lot of stuff this week, so forgive me if I canter through a few of these. Kicking things off is Sam & Max, the Devil's Playhouse remaster. This is the 3rd season of the Telltale-made Sam & Max game, and while the remaster is being developed by Skunk Ape Games, this team does contain a number of former Telltale developers who moved over when Telltale went under back in 2018. This one has all the visual, sound, and score upgrades you'd expect from a remaster. It's arriving on all platforms on the 14th. Arco is one to keep an eye on. Edge magazine got a hold of this early and scored it a rare 9 out of 10, which is always enough to get my attention. It's a top-down pixel art cowboy strategy game that kind of reminds me of the sort of stuff we used to get back in the 16-bit era. Obviously very simple in its construction, but it seems to have got it where it counts. This one's headed to PC and Switch and arrives on the 15th. Dredge is getting some more DLC on the 15th. It's called the Iron Rig, and it adds around 2 to 5 hours more gameplay centered on an oil rig that gets added to the map, providing a new story arc that sees you revisiting areas from the base game to uncover a new mystery. Plus, there's a total of 50 new fucked up fish to catch. That's a lot of fucked up fish. Here's what I'm pumped about this week. Hunt Showdown's 1896 update is dropping on the 15th. Not only does this include an all-new map, the first in 3 years, but it also sees a massive engine upgrade for the game, a whole host of changes to weapons and items, and heaps of other stuff. Plus, it delivers native current-gen apps for consoles, meaning it's, you know, properly optimized for PS5 and Xbox Series consoles. Oh, and did I mention that you can now center the reticle? One of the biggest pet peeves of anyone who tried Hunt Showdown but didn't like it. Hunt is a one-of-a-kind masterpiece of horror, tension, and sound design, so if you haven't yet checked it out, then now is the perfect opportunity to do it.
Nope.
Stick with it though, it's very tough at first, but I promise you it is worth it. Kena Bridge of Spirits is a fantastic third-person adventure game with some stunning visuals released back in 2021 for PC and PS5, and on the 15th, it'll finally arrive for Xbox. A very solid pick up, that one. Phantom Spark is one I hadn't actually seen before this week when all of a sudden it appeared in my inbox. A very sleek-looking Wipeout-inspired racer that boasts a single-player campaign, 30 tracks, and split-screen multiplayer. Nice to know these sorts of games are still getting made, filling that Wipeout-shaped hole in our lives. This one's headed to all platforms, including Mac, and it arrives on August 15th. Shapes 2 is the sequel to Shapes, an automation game that sits at an extraordinary 96% overwhelmingly positive on Steam. It's one of those automation games that totally scare me, but other people really love them, and this is meant to be a good one. It arrives in early access, exclusive to PC on the 15th. Sins of a Solar Empire 2. Man, I really feel like this one snuck up on us. I remember hearing this was announced a while back, and then we heard absolutely nothing until all of a sudden I spotted it on the release schedule for this week. It is out this week, and it continues to be a very intimidating real-time 4X game set in space. An absolutely incredible sense of scale at play at all times, allowing you to zoom right into specific ships and then immediately zoom out to view the entire solar system. A real cult classic, the last one, so let's hope this one delivers as well. Intravenous is a game that comes extremely highly recommended by our man Edmund, and so he is very excited about the imminent release of Intravenous 2. It's a top-down stealth game with a focus on immersive storytelling. Yes, he does reference Metal Gear in his praise of it. It does look pretty rad, and it's out exclusive to PC on the 15th. Feed the Deep is that one we shouted out a little while ago, and I put this on your radar segment. It's that one from the guy who designed Jetpack Joyride and Fruit Ninja. It's a roguelike about diving beneath a city to feed the eldritch beast that lurks beneath. It's exclusive to PC and it arrives on the 16th. There's a new Madden game dropping this week after the release of college football. I am fresh out of American football jokes, so Yanks, you get a pass on this one. Enjoy yourselves. Black Myth Wukong finally arrives on the 20th, exclusive to PC and PS5. Reviews for this one actually dropped this week, but sadly, I did not get a review code. I did try desperately to get my hands on one.
Skill Upton, get a code! Skill Upton, get a code! They don't like you.
And I have a ton of hands-on preview sessions booked, so unfortunately, I will miss the Wukong boat altogether. It's not for lack of trying though, believe me, so I wanted to update you on all of that. We'll be sure to do a regular review roundup in the news show next week. And finally, there's a new Guild Wars expansion dropping this week. Who'd have thought it? Not me. Good thing I've got a guy on my staff who's as obsessed with Guild Wars as I am with Destiny. So
please don't talk about Guild Wars 2 anymore.
much so that ArenaNet personally invited him to play the expansion early. That is a true story, by the way. Why don't you just tell him, Austin?
Thanks, Ralph. Yep, so I did indeed get about 2 hours of hands-on time with the latest expansion, Janthea Wilds, and unsurprisingly, I loved it. The 2 new maps are vast, multi-leveled landscapes that boast a very natural kind of beauty, especially with the Aurora Borealis that hangs overhead. Skinner would be proud. To help traverse it, we've got a newly revamped mount, the Warclaw, which feels almost exactly like Torrent from Elden Ring on account of its new double jump ability. The expansion overall had a kind of chill vibe about it, packed with diverse events ranging from a dancing ritual to a mount maze. But we also came
Wait, no, I have to go back.
World boss that offered a really engaging combat challenge. Tons of projectiles to dodge, stack mechanics, and a phase where we had to mount up on our war claws to bring down the boss with this chain pull ability. Very cool. That's not the only addition to combat though. The new spear weapon gives every class a bunch of new abilities, and honestly there's some of the most nuanced and flashy skill sets in the game. For example, my ranger can use one skill to stealth, which then infuses my next ability with an animal spirit for bonus effects. The new player housing system is also impressive.
Player housing?
One of the most robust housing systems in any MMORPG.
Oh, wow.
You freely fly around, reposition, and scale objects like you would any 3D software. I have some concerns with the expansion's replayability at launch, but otherwise everything I saw was very promising. There's a detailed
It's still not looking good enough to me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, it doesn't look good.
Of my thoughts.
Looks like a cell phone game to me, I'm terribly sorry. It doesn't look like it has an identity. And I frankly hate that. I gotta admit, I hate that that engenders such a response to me. Honestly, Guild Wars 1 is far more appealing to me than this game was, which is so sad. I think that's so sad. It lacks depth. It doesn't have that WoW depth. Like I'm excited to get into War Within, but I mean I don't really feel like finishing all the rest of the content of Dragonflight because I don't need to. I know what it is. It's a pointless fucking pointless eye level grind that I don't believe in. I don't believe in eye level grinds anymore, not unless they're leading to something like a raid or something in Rust. I just don't believe in those anymore. So right now, currently, I am patching Mortal 2. It seems like Mortal 2 is patching every night. I came in to get on her and send more ingots. I am patching Mortal 2, which kind of held me up, but I don't know, maybe the Rust... I also had to do a Rust reset, so I'm just waiting for Rust reset and or Mortal 2, whichever comes up first. We'll try Rust again. We'll go back in. It's fine. Oh, no, yeah, I have to send out. Oops. Okay, send out a whole bunch of copper. Oh, wow, yeah. Anyways, lots of copper ingots. Yeah, I'll have her sell a stack of silver ore, because it's actually not bad money. I'll send like one stack just because it's something to sell. Yeah. Yep. And then, yeah, I mean, it's more money than I'll make if I were to process it, so... Or not more money, it's about the same money. Excuse me. So, I wonder if I can tell this thing to do a higher resolution. Can you do that? Yeah, you seem to be doing it fine. Huh? Okay, well, let's try that then. You can give me a full res, huh? High, max quality, 4 cascades, everything's good, everything's looking good. We'll turn on TSAA. Max quality, experimental, partial play. My servers should hopefully be up. Yeah, there it is. Monthly hardcore, yay. Okay. You should come in to Cat Monies. And, yeah. And... oh no, I have drifted somehow? How have I drifted? That seems weird. Whatever, it doesn't matter really. Hurry up, you get back to the box. Okay, jettison. What? What do you mean? Oh, I think. I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't really matter, but stop though. Stop. You're like still moving. It's annoying. Yep, and we'll just dump. Yeah, Abyssal Rakevine is good. You keep wanting to try to get me to play Hunt Showdown. I'm not going to. I played that game. That game is fucking terrible. That game is fucking terrible. I'm terribly sorry. That game is fucking terrible. It is not fucking good. 32. Game isn't optimized. Rust is running, but it's Overwatch to disable due to DLSS. Full screen wireless. DLSS max quality ultra performance. Nope, we're not doing ultra performance. I'll tell you that. Nope, nope. Yeah, right. And now we're gonna jettison again. Oh, in 90 seconds, I guess. Okay, so now. Oh wait, no. Yeah, did I get all those? No, I didn't get all those. Go back. Gotta make some money. Gotta make some money. Gotta make some money. Oh, it's good it was back up, because I'd rather do this, honestly. Maybe I will just use GeForce Now because it keeps like I noticed the Final Fantasy runs really well when I'm using GeForce Now, and so does EvE, and I can like probably keep EvE in higher settings. Honestly, like what settings are EvE in right now? 120 because it totally takes the pressure off the card. It's awesome. Yep. Ooh, 4K, and it's running great. It's like in 67 frames. Yeah, never mind. That's what I'll do in the future. Nice. Yeah, it looks really good. Nice. Metal frags. We need them. So now can I... Oh, no. So what do? We go out with a tool. I'll go with a tool and a jackhammer. And I'll look for nodes, is what I'll do. Refill, refill. That sound makes me so nervous every single time I hear it. I'm like, oh my god, that makes me nervous still. Where do I go? What do I do? Oh, it looks so much better in 4K. I didn't know. It knows that my television is 4K, and it knows that I want native, and wow, that looks really good, except, yeah, it looks good to me. Yeah, it looks good. Actually, I do like GeForce Now. I might continue to pay for it. Yep, we'll just go straight looking for mill crates and stuff. I think there's a card puzzle in here, if I recall. But no, maybe that's the other place. There's like a military compound. I thought it was this place, but no, this is like an industrial compound. But there's a military compound that had like a cell and a jail in it with a fucking ton of gun crates. And all I need is a fuse. That's it. And so I was thinking, like, now that I have fuel, I could go out on an adventure. I wonder if there's a crew boiler here. I need to, like, locate it if there is. So I suppose I could systematically search. Ooh, laptop's good. Laptop's good. You know, I could go roaming now to a different monument. If I have a laptop, I'm going to go to Power Station and see if the gun crate's sitting there. Because it's, like, really easy guns if it is. I need to go see. So I'm going to go that way now. Well... Technically, I should go and do the... Because mill crates have respawned here. I should technically do this place first. But that's okay. Yep. Oh, wow. Running this is so worth it, yeah. think there's another milk crate across the way, but I need to learn where it is and just run the milk crates. That's it. It'll get my job done so quick. Like that's all that I really need from here. So I think if I run across the way, sometimes there's a milk crate in here too. Ooh, there's a green card. That's good. Ooh, yeah, there's a milk crate in here too. Ooh, night vision goggles. That's good, good. Okay, so yeah, you were rotten meat. I guess I'll recycle once I get it all. Wait, did I see another milk crate? What's the point of the building without a milk crate? Don't bother. Maybe there is in the corner. Oh yeah, there is. There's no. I can't tell. No, it's a food crate. Oh, unscrew this laptop. What's that do? Scrap. Burgers are good. Yeah. Mmm, box burgers. Okay, good. Yeah, water's good. I'm on the roam, and that helps. That's an actual fridge. That's cool. Oh no, what's going on? This 12-15.